Good afternoon. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Holcomb from the 11 Alive Weather Impact Team, where we do have a weather impact alert in effect for the rest of the afternoon and through the evening hours as we are tracking the showers and storms that are moving through our area. So far, none of these have been classified as severe, but some that we were tracking in northwest Georgia had 40 to 50 mile an hour winds in association with them. We've been watching a couple of things. We had this band that moved through Atlanta earlier. That is pushed up to the north. That has heavy rain with it. We've had some lightning strikes and rumbles of thunder. This, though, is the main part of the storm system. This line there in North Georgia, stretching back into West Georgia, just north of I-20 there in parts of Haralson County. That's where we have some of the heaviest rain that's moving in, and a lot of this will be pushing into Atlanta soon, as well as additional showers here on the south side. You can see the heavier rain to the north of us now, really covering a big part of North Georgia, and even more of that in far North Georgia, with the main threats there being heavier rain. We've had winds of 40 miles an hour in the northern parts of Cherokee County, coming out of Gordon County, also pushing into areas of Pickens County as well as Gilmer and into Fannin County. This part looks impressive here, coming through West Georgia with a little bit of thunder and lightning. And then this part back into Alabama, that's the part that we have to watch very closely, because as that moves into West Georgia, the parcel of air that we have there in West Central Georgia is the area a little more likely where we could see some stronger storms developing here. Live look right now into areas of North Georgia and Rome, where we see the rain. Not as much rain here in Atlanta. There's that parcel that we're talking about there in West Georgia, where it is now a level 2 of 5 risk that some of those storms could turn severe. We think they would be just some scattered storms that are developing. Melissa Nord joining me right now, also tracking these storms as they move through and breaking down some of the threats.
Yeah, and Chris, we've been saying from the beginning that heavy rainfall would be a widespread threat today, but focusing in on those severe weather aspects, those stronger storms could have some damaging winds. Some of those wind gusts may only be 40 or 50 miles per hour, not producing a severe thunderstorm warning, but some of them could reach 60 miles per hour, and that's when they would issue severe thunderstorm warnings. And also there will be a little bit of rotation in the atmosphere that some of those storms could tap into, and that's why we've increased that tornado threat to low today. So not a lot of tornadoes, but we could see an isolated tornado developing, especially in that sweet spot in that level 2 risk area this afternoon, areas that haven't been worked over by heavy rain already today. So let's go through forecast track hour by hour. Again, this is a look into the future of what radar could look like, but it's not what radar definitely will look like. But this shows where we're seeing that heavy rainfall around, mostly across areas north of Atlanta. That's where the rain's going to stay heaviest for the next hour to 2. But then we get into the evening commute, you can see those heavy storms on top of the metro, and watching the storms on the south side at 4 and 5 o'clock today as they move in as well. Those are the ones that could tap into more of that unstable air, producing a little bit of rotation. That's 5 o'clock today. Very slow and wet commute. In addition to the severe weather threat, with all this heavy rain coming down some of the areas same time over and over again, that flooding threat, street flooding, increases at 5 o'clock today for some standing water on the roadway. So that's 5 o'clock. We'll push the forecast track out into 6:30, 7 o'clock. You can still see some of those thunderstorms along the leading edge, but still a lot of areas of widespread rain over the metro. And then overnight, by 8 o'clock, the severe threat's over, but watch forecast track filling back in as we get into the overnight hours. More rain filling into North Georgia. The last wave of moisture before we bring in drier weather tomorrow afternoon, and a much colder picture for your Wednesday as well. Temperatures right now well into the 60s, though. Model rainfall showing anywhere from 1 to 3 inches of rain on average. But if we get those storms that we call training, they're going over the same areas like train cars and train. On the train tracks over and over again, we could see isolated pockets that pick up over 3 inches of rain, and that's where we see the best risk of flooding for today. 67 now, 1 o'clock in the afternoon here in Atlanta. That's running a solid 10 degrees above average this time of year. 68 in Marietta, 67 in Peachtree City, Canton 63 and 62 in Blairsville. So this afternoon, tracking increasing thunderstorms, some of those producing heavy rain, lightning, and even isolated stronger storms with gusty winds. We'll keep those temperatures going in the mid 60s. Then overnight tonight, we're talking about rain, but we're losing the severe weather risk for the overnight, and some of that rain will last in tomorrow morning's commute as well. Here's your 7-day forecast. You notice in red that weather impact alert for today, tracking the last of the rain out of here early Wednesday. The temperatures falling through the 40s, wind chills in the 30s tomorrow afternoon. Will stay cold and dry with a below freezing start on Thursday morning. We'll be live back here 25 minutes with another weather update.